Well, pond season is well and truly underway here in Australia. I have been slacking behind a little bit here. At the moment, I've only got one of my IBCs set up. I've actually got 6 of them here and 2 smaller ponds. And all of these ponds are linked up to my automatic water change systems. Inside my fish room, I have an automated water change system, which basically auto tops up all of the water in the tanks. The water then overflows out the tanks through a gutter into this bin here, where it's then pumped into my ponds. Now, the only pond that's been getting water is this one that you can see here. The bees are going nuts on it, drinking all the water. I've got some water lilies in here. Recently, our fence was just way too old and super rotten. The fence line used to come to the back of these ponds. Last weekend, we've started the process of getting a brand new fence rebuilt, and they're actually gonna be rebuilding it to back here, which means that I've given myself a bit of extra space here in the backyard to have my ponds, because I'll be honest, these are not the prettiest things. I like what's inside of them, but I have to admit, Sanam is definitely right. These are not the most attractive. So we've come to an agreement. Beyond here now, this border is my part of the yard. I'm allowed to do whatever I want with the ponds. And today we're gonna be jigging them all up. You can see that a lot of this irrigation pipe has been ripped off the old fence and needs to be kind of reset up. We're gonna be doing that today. I wanna get them all kind of filled up with water and start putting some guppies in there, because at the moment, this season, I kind of wanna focus early on my guppies. I want to do some more black moss scales like I did last year. I just want to get water into these things because it just kills me to look at these things empty. And I figure while we wait for the new fence to be built, we should just get started. So I'm going to just put on a time lapse, figure this out and show you guys what I kind of came up with. It's a little bit of a mess. You can see there's just pipes everywhere. So this is not going to be the most fun I've ever had, but we're just going to get it done. And oi, Sammy, come here. That's too far, mate. And yeah, come join the process. Okay, well, I've pretty much got this all done. So right now I have the water change system on. You can see the overflow is going into the sump here. And then there's a little pump here with a, what's it called? Like a floating activation device. So basically when this water level comes too high, this little yellow thing kicks on like you saw. It's not perfect. So then it starts firing all the excess water into the ponds. So you can see they're all kicking off now. I've linked up the aeration as well. So everyone's getting water and they're all gonna start filling up. You can see the grass here is way overgrown from the fact that I had all of these open for the last like few months, and all the water that was going into these ponds was just going out in the grass and helping the grass to grow like crazy. So yeah, it's all linked up. The aeration's on too, you can see. Over here, I've got my aeration going on this little pond here. And I can also tweak these and turn them on as much as I want. So I'm probably only gonna have this one on like a little bit because this one's gonna overflow. And same with this one. You'll be like surprised to see how much guppies we'll be able to make this summer. I might even try some platies outside this summer. Just do a bunch of live bearers and see how it goes. But what I'm gonna do is run some water changes, get these guys filling up. Then we'll go to the shop and we'll get some fish to add to these and start off like the summer tubbing series kind of. You can see here too, I've added, these are 2 olive trees. My grandfather grew these from cuttings. I inherited these when he passed away, so they do mean a lot to me. This one's been cut back a lot, but it's gonna grow back really nicely. And this one's obviously just going nuts. So hopefully these will create some nice shade over the summer, over these ponds. But yeah, we've got like a nice little, oh, I stepped in some prickles, fuck. Ouch. You can see though, we've got the 3 here, the 3 here. If I want to, I can probably add a couple more over there. Over on this side too, I could probably add some more, but to be honest, this is plenty for me. I really enjoy having these IBCs and they're really cool. And you can see, like I was talking about earlier, the bees always come to this rock and drink from it. How cool. Like there's always bees here having a drink, taking the water back to the hive. So yeah, the ponds are also a great spot for like an ecosystem to start. So I might give this a quick mow and whippersnap as well this afternoon, but I'm very happy. I'm glad this is all kind of getting started. Okay. So before we head to the shop and get the fish for the ponds, there's some stuff going on in the fish room that I kind of wanted to talk about and show you guys if you were interested. So starting off, I think I've been talking about these guys a lot, the zebra plecos. For all of you that don't know, I had a really successful spawning group going in a tank over there. There was 4 adults in there and I think I had 2 males and 2 females. So what I did was I took the confirmed pair out of that tank and put them into a separate breeding tank to try and diversify my fish portfolio. So in case anything went wrong with that big tank, at least I wouldn't lose all the fish. So I moved them in here and they're now set up in this really simple zebra pleco sort of scape. I've run into some issues. So the female had just finished spawning and she was definitely a little bit more on the skinny side, and that's okay. I expected that after she'd laid a huge clutch of eggs. I checked up on her a week later and she hadn't put on any weight. She'd actually gotten a little bit skinnier. So I decided, okay, this is a very common issue with fish keeping and something that I wanted to teach you guys about, and this is worms and nematodes. So I instantly assumed she's got some sort of internal parasites. I use 2 medications which I can readily get my hands on, and we sell both of these medications in our store, praziquantel and levamisole. Those 2 kind of cover most of the worms that we can get in the hobby. I treated them with levamisole and praziquantel in the same dose, and I checked back on them a week later thinking they'll be okay, even skinnier. I checked the date on my levamisole and it was like way out of date. It went off in 2024. So I instantly knew that the medications weren't working properly. I rushed, got some brand new ones, and I dosed them the other day. They've been doing okay. I haven't really given them enough time to know whether they're doing better. What I did was I dosed levamisole, leave it in there for 24 hours. It's very sensitive to light. The way the levamisole works is it paralyzes the nematodes inside of the fish's guts by them absorbing it through their gills and through their skin. And basically what it does is it stops the worms that are inside of the fish from being able to hold onto anything, which means that they can naturally excrete them. The only problem with this medication is the worms that come out die, but it doesn't kill the eggs, which is why we write down the date. So I do 1 worming session with 1 medication. I write down the date, I give it a massive clean 24 hours later, I do a big water change, and then a week later, I do the same process. And then even the week after that, I do another process just to make sure the worms are completely eradicated. What I'm doing today is I'm gonna do an additional dose now that we've done the levamisole, and I'm gonna do the praziquantel. So this one's probably a little bit easier. This is a bit more of an easier medication to come by, especially here in Australia. We have these, which are just the Blue Planet fluke and tapeworm tablets. We sell lots of these in store. I honestly recommend just having them on hand because the chances are when you run into an issue, you're not gonna have the medication, and that's when you start losing fish. So what we're gonna do today is dose it. I just follow the instructions at the back. 1 tablet per 20 liters. This tank's about 100 liters, so we're gonna add 5 tablets today. I might even add just an extra one because these are adult fish. 2, 3, 4, 5, and just 6 for good luck. I'm gonna let that absorb, and what I'm gonna do on top of that is write the date. So today is the 6th, so I'm gonna go 6 tabs on the 6th of November. Now, I know that they've been treated with both of those things. I would love to have metronidazole, which is for some reason a vet-controlled drug here in Australia. And yeah, I don't think they're too far gone. I just think that I've really got to keep on top of it and make sure that I do eradicate the worms that are in here because they've definitely got some form of internal parasites. I'm not sure where they've got it from. You're going to run into it with guppies, like all live bearers really get these sorts of things. Understanding how to do it is very important. So if you would like a dedicated video just to worming fish, comment that down below and I'll try and make that if you guys are interested in it. Otherwise, I won't bother. On a more positive note, I'll give you guys an update on what has been working. And this tank over here is the original breeding tank. The babies are doing fantastic. They are growing really, really well. I've only lost a few silly mistakes. I unplugged the heater one day on a really hot day. The tank was at like 33 degrees Celsius. I unplugged the heater and it dropped down to 28. I went away, which is what normally happens when these things go wrong. I left the heater unplugged accidentally. And the day after the massive hot day here was a cool day. And they would have gone down to about 25 degrees Celsius and I lost a few babies. These are really touchy little fish, but the rest of them are doing really good, eating well. They're eating baby brine shrimp and they're all growing and they look like little mini zebras. I'm starting to get a little bit worried that the 2 adults that are in here from the original 4, I think they might be both females. So I think that I've got probably 3 females and 1 male, but just because I haven't had anyone create territories in here. So I've got 2 caves. Both fish have been inside and outside of the caves, but they haven't claimed them. And this is just typical female behavior. If there was a really dominant male in there, he'd just get his head stuck into a cave within a week and he wouldn't move. I'm really happy about how the babies are growing out. So they're probably still like 5 or 6 months away from being in store. I'm going to be selling a few of these this time just to spread the fish around. I do think about it every day, that mistake that I made with losing all of my fry. I think about it every day and it still hurts me to this day, but we have to move on and I'm trying my best to get these fish breeding. And I think that, you know, having the internal parasites thing going on is not nice, but I mean, I'm just being open with you guys. I run into these issues all the time. That's what's going on with them. So I've grabbed the camera to show you guys this. This has kind of been really, really exciting and unexpected. In this tank, I have 3 Senegal birches. or birches, whatever you're gonna call them. I set this tank up to hopefully attempt to breed them, and they have responded way better than I thought they would. So you can see here, I've got my adults. I've been conditioning them with live earthworms from my worm farms outside, and they have been breeding all day. I didn't expect them to kick off this quick. I thought they were gonna be a little bit more challenging, and they have just been spawning all day. So I've got 1 male, 2 females in here, which seems to be a really good ratio. He's just been going nuts ever since he's seen that there's this spawning mops that are in here. He's been harassing both the females, and I've seen them laying eggs all day. I didn't really set this up thinking that they were gonna be laying eggs this quick, and it's kind of a relief to know that I'm gonna be able to actually get eggs from this fish. You can see here the male's still pursuing that female. The way you can tell is, I'll put a photo up on the screen, but the males have like a weird flap at the back of their, like near their anus, I guess, and the females have a differently shaped one, so that's how you tell. Their eggs look quite different to any other fish that I've ever kept, really. They're like, I couldn't really tell that they were eggs when I first looked in here, but I don't know what I'm gonna do with breeding them and raising them up. It's just good news to know that it's actually working. Yeah, I'm gonna have to give this some more thought, but I just wanted to show you guys that they actually were breeding, and yeah, it's pretty rewarding. So this is definitely gonna be a project to look forward to in the future. I'm gonna be trying to breed as many of these as possible to bring them in store, because I think they're way overpriced what they are. I know they're a little bit of a pest to try and raise up. I'm just so excited that I've got them even spawning. So another thing we're gonna be doing is setting up these 3 little 5-gallon tanks on my spawning rack to hopefully spawn some Cardinal tetras next week. I had some Cardinal tetras that were growing out in my Amazon tank. They are finally ready to breed. They take about 9 to 12 months to kind of get to the age where you know they're definitely going to spawn. I've never spawned this fish before, so I'm going to be setting these up pretty simple. We're just going to be using pure RO water with my reverse osmosis system, adding a handful of peat moss to each one of these, and I'm just going to let that settle over the weekend. It's currently Thursday. I'm going away on Monday, Tuesday with Jason to the outback. So I just want to have these tanks ready to go for when I come back, so I can add the fish straight in and hopefully get some spawning action. So I'll actually show you guys my RO system. Okay, so this is just outside, and this is how I create all my RO water. So I have one of these like portable RO units. I want to start selling these in store because they are super useful for breeders. I link them up to just my normal town water. It's got like a little tap here that just goes onto my garden hose. And what I do is I just turn it on like that. You can see it fired up. What it'll do is it has one tap that creates the RO water. You can see it comes out very, very slowly. There's the RO water. So this is pure water. What this filter does is it runs the water through like a series of membranes and stuff and removes as much particles as possible. The TDS, total dissolved solids, of our normal town water is about 150 to 250. This strips it right down to about 20. This isn't an expensive filter and doesn't do the best job, but it does okay. You can see here too, there's an outside line, and this here is all of the wastewater. So it creates a ton of wastewater, but this should be pure RO water. I'll actually grab one of my cheap TDS meters and check. Hey buddy, hopefully it's still got battery. Little TDS meter, please have battery. Yep, we're in business. Okay, so this is just a normal aquarium here. You can see on here it's 0 so far. We're just gonna dip this in. There you go, 270. So that makes sense. Very high TDS. We'll go outside and test that RO water. Okay, and then the RO water, it's 100% working, that's a 0. The filter's doing its job. This is pure water. And the reason we want this is Cardinal tetras come from the Amazon, some of the purest water you can get. This is just what triggers them. They wanna feel the difference from going from 200 to a really low TDS, and that's how they know, okay, it's time to breed. It helps with the eggs to survive. It's just what you need to do. Yeah, cheap little RO system. I can't tell you how many times I've left this on and this bin's overflowed on me. It's so annoying, but we'll turn that off just to make sure. So they're all set up now. Pure RO water, handful of peat moss in here. You can just get that from Bunnings, and a spawning mop in each one. So I could technically add fish in here probably tomorrow, but it just doesn't time up well with my schedule. And this will be great because it gives all that peat moss time to settle down. And the reason we're adding the peat moss is because there's no mineral content in the water. It's really easy to manipulate the pH. This is probably at about 6.5 at the moment with just the pure RO water, which is great. But adding the peat moss will add a ton of humic acid into the water. And because there's no TDS that's gonna buffer that acid, it's probably gonna drop down to at least 5 TDS, which is gonna be really, really good to mimic the natural environment of where cardinal tetras breed. Another added benefit of the peat moss is that if you have a nice thick layer in there, when the cardinals spawn, they're gonna turn around straight away and try and eat their eggs. It's just like their stupid natural instinct. They're just really dumb like that. The eggs that do fall through, down through the spawning mop or down into the substrate are gonna be less likely to be picked off if they're sitting on a layer of peat moss, just because they're not visibly as obvious, versus a bare bottom glass tank. They're gonna see those eggs straight away and they're just gonna get consumed like crazy. So yeah, these should work really good. They'll settle in over the next few days and they'll just do the perfect job for spawning the cardinals. If you wanna watch, I've got lots of videos on my channel of breeding neons. Even breeding harlequin rasboras is very similar to this. Alrighty, so we're now in store and you can see everything's looking real good. The big wall of aquariums is always fun to come and have a look at. Oh my God, I didn't even notice this. There's this box full of albino bristlenose babies. Wow, that's actually insane. But we're here, not to bludge, we're here to get some stuff. So I'm gonna grab some of these today. These are the black Moscow guppies. I would have had these last year in a pond. There's still some left, so I'm gonna take them today, throw them outside, and I don't know, I haven't really decided what else I'm gonna do. I might wait. If I add stuff now, it's gonna be too hard to take it out, so I really wanna be sure what I'm adding. But yeah, I'm definitely gonna get some of them. And I also needed a pump. So one of these for the zebs. Well, these have gotten big for hakas. I swear every day they're like 4 centimeters bigger. It's very tempting. Zara, can I pretty please have some of these? Do you have any ideas of what I should add to my ponds? Oh yeah, wow. Oh, that's tempting as. I'm gonna do the black ones today, and then just, because I know that they're gonna do good. Yep, that'll work. I'll come back next month with 500. Cool. All right, I'll get these guys home. Yeah. You gotta show me what you brought in. This is crazy. So Darcy's brought in a urine sample. Look at that. I just don't know. And look at the color. Why is it that color? Before we head off, Sam, do you wanna go, we'll go bother Mia? All right, we're in the office now. So we've been working on, well, you've been working on product photos this week. Our product photos have been really dodgy for a long time.
Very dodgy. This is what
Yeah, wow.
we look like now.
Oh, that's awesome. Oh, that's so good. Yeah, wow, cool. This is the old KFS camera. That's awesome, yeah. We've been looking forward to doing this for a long time, hey. Also, did you see what Darcy brought in? Or he brought in like a piss sample, but it had fish in it and it was yellow. I gotta show you, come have a look. Come have a look at this, it's crazy. Here, look at that. Oh, I didn't want to even touch it. What? It's Medaka eggs, but like, why did he bring it in that? He's like, oh, they're cheap containers. That's crazy. It's now the afternoon and I have just finished up mowing around the ponds, and oh my God, the grass was so thick. I think it looks a lot better now, and I'm gonna give you guys a full look at them, as well as we're gonna add the black Moscow guppies that I got from the shop into this pitiful little puddle while I wait to do a water change. So you can see them down here. I'm gonna do a water change tonight and fill up the rest of the pond, but I'm just gonna introduce them now so I don't like leave them in the bag for too long. We're just gonna open them up and release them, and you guys go. This is not aesthetic at all, but they are now in. And you guys might be wondering, what are they gonna eat? Well, this is gonna very quickly turn into green water, and I'm gonna try my best to make sure it does, because I've not added any plants in here. So when they start pooping, the poop is gonna create ammonia and nitrates and nitrites, which is gonna help the green water to just start exploding. And I might even just seed it with the water from this pond. You can see this is really, really green, and the guppies love it. Now the green water is full of tiny little things like microscopic organisms that the baby guppies can eat, but I think they just filter feed through it. They barely ever need feeding. I throw food in here once every 3 days for Snap, my turtle, and I would also throw extra bug buffet in here for the guppies as well, but I just throw in the extra food and they just do amazing. So I also want to show you guys the handy pipe work that I've done organizing it. I've zip tied it, just drilled a hole and run the zip tie through to connect the black pipes. Super easy way of doing it. Didn't take me very long, probably took me about an hour and a half to do all of this. So you can see I've connected it all up. Super neat, really easy for me to understand, and it's gonna last because it's all plastic. So this could get me through a couple of seasons, I think, and that's probably the plan, so that I can just leave these setups, because the benefit of doing outdoor ponds is they're just so low maintenance. So hopefully I can just leave these for the time being, and if I wanted to add more, I could probably add like a little island here in the middle and maybe some stuff over there, but we'll see. We'll see if I can even be bothered to do that. But yeah, no, this is really cool. I'm gonna add a few more plants and stuff to these over the next few videos. So this is just the introduction to the pond series. We're gonna start getting stuck into this now that they're all set up, and I mean, it's, you know, November already, so it's time to get started on summer tubbing. But yeah, thank you so much for watching the video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Yeah, let's get stuck into this. I can't wait to see how all of these ponds go.